Hey there, Noodles. I hope y'all are having a good day. I'm having an okay one. Uh, and that's, all I can do for today. I can't force too much more than just having an okay day. And that's all right. But not for real. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope each and every one of you are having a beautiful, peaceful day. And that's that. That's all I can wish. That's all we can wish for, right? But today I want to talk about something that's been on my heart this whole past week. Probably actually the past couple months that I just haven't been talking about. And it's the topic of avoiding change. I have a really bad habit of avoiding change. Um, it's not very healthy. Change is a good thing. Like change is like how you know you're still alive. Like if everything were to be the same every single day and literally not even one little change, to me that's just like a life that sounds to me isn't the most worth living. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Ooh, can I get this with stone? I can't. I'm retarded. Okay, not retarded. I shouldn't say that word. I'm dumb in the head. Um, but yeah, like y'all, like change is something that we all go through in life, and it's something we all have to face eventually. Whether it be a change of someone in your life moving on, or the change of like someone passing on, or the change of someone coming into your life. Um, I feel the concept of change and the concept of people leaving your life is kind of looked, at least in the culture and the way I was raised, is looked on as like a negative thing. But I've started to slowly change my perspective. God damn it, get off fire. Come on, bro. I've started to change my perspective, as I was saying, about it. And by that I mean I've started to change my perspective about change and how it is a negative thing, especially when someone is departing from your life or on their way out or considering leaving your life. You know what I mean? Those are all things that I think we all probably have faced, at least at some point in your life, knowing whether a relative is going to pass soon or sometime, like, it's just expected. And then also, like, when people get, start having kids and stuff, like, people expect to have, like, like when they get married, they expect to start having babies and stuff. Like, that's something that's like kind of a hard thing for a lot of people to comprehend, is like, taking care of another human being and bringing another human being into this world is a kind of scary concept for a lot of people. And thankfully, I haven't had to cross that particular crossroads yet in life. Hopefully, honestly, at this point in life, I really don't. In the way that I really hope I never have to cross those crossroads of trying to become a father to someone. It's a kind of a scary thought because I've never had a father myself. I never had a dad. My first memories in life were waking up and being told that my dad had just passed away. So that shit traumatizes you and it makes you not understand the world, and it doesn't really, it's done a lot to me, but it's done a lot of bad for me and it's done a lot of good. And whenever I start contemplating really horrible things like that and thinking about how my life is so much worse or could be so much better if X, Y, and Z had happened, or, if X, Y, and Z had happened to me as a kid or hadn't happened to me as a kid or some bullshit, you know what I mean? Uh, I really fall back on like one of my favorite songs of all time, which is a song by Kasky called Voice of God. Now I'm not really a religious person. Um, like at all. I grew up very religious, but I never like kept with that stuff. I didn't keep it as an adult. I chose to go a different way with my life and believe other things. Um, and try to find my own path. And that's okay, because that's who I am and that's who I want to be. I don't want to just blindly believe a faith that doesn't make sense to me, and if someday in the future, some magical way, or or just like, I guess, excessive bothering by my brother, who thinks I'm going to hell and all these other things, maybe I will believe. Maybe I will change my mind about, all the traditional God and Jesus stuff that we're kind of like all taught growing up here in America. And maybe someday I will learn to heal from the trauma that was caused to me by multiple adults and parents in my life growing up, and how, horrible things were allowed to happen, and it was just looked away because, don't worry about it. Just, trust God, believe that God had a purpose in doing this to you. There's a reason for it, don't kill yourself, crazy stuff like that, not actually addressing problems or issues within communities and churches is a bad thing, not addressing physical or sexual abuse is a bad thing. And sorry, I guess I should have like put like a graphic warning content on the beginning of this video. Maybe I'll go back and record one and put it in at the very beginning. But like, I guess we are touching on some touchy subjects today, so maybe I'll just keep touching on them. Today's the 4th of August, and I'm assuming if you're watching this video or listening to it, you are alive. 1 month ago today, I considered ending it all, and I'm really fucking glad I didn't, because if I had done what I, considered, even for a moment or hour or however long that suicidal episode I had a month ago was, I wouldn't have been able to experience what I am experiencing today, which, it may be painful, but it's also a good thing, because I see it as like a way I can learn and grow from something that's very difficult. And that's all I really can do with what is going on right now, is learn from it. I can't really control it. I've kind of taken a step back and realized that, it's out of my control at this point. If someone wants to explore other options or be with other people, and that makes them happier than spending time with you as a person, then let that be. You can't really force people to be friends with you. You can't really force people to love you. You can't force people to do whatever makes you feel comfortable or you want them to do. You can't, like, I guess that's like a secondary subject of this video, is like, as much as in life we probably, I don't know if anyone else is like me, goes through it with planning, and we can do all the planning and the necessary steps and the what we think are the taking the best options or making the best decisions. We can do all that, and we can do everything perfect, and stuff cannot turn out exactly how we wanted it to. But then at the same time, we can do stuff so crazily and imperfect and in a way that shouldn't be done, or no one else thinks is the right way to do it, and it could work out and be the best thing that you've ever done with your life. Like, if I had asked the people around me back in June if I should start a YouTube channel and just upload random rambling videos whenever I am feeling down or depressed, to try to just talk it out instead of, sitting in silence like I have done for so many years and just not speaking about it, as an attempt to clear my brain and just, have my own voice and feel like I'm heard, even if I'm, not really heard. I think most of the people around my life, including, unfortunately, my partner at the time, would have seen how much time I would, know, or at least know how much time something like this, an adventure like this, would take to actually work and be profitable, or just, show any type of like what do you call return on the investment for time. And most people would take the idea and take me as a person probably just be like, nah, bro, you shouldn't do it because, you know, you need to go do something else. You need to spend your time doing something else, you know? And, you know, I'm really glad I didn't ask anyone. I really fucking am. Like, and that's the other, like last week, I kind of went into more detail and I actually, you know, told my partner what was going on and that I had a YouTube channel. It's just something I hadn't done yet at that point. Oh, I think I'm gonna drown underneath here. I don't think I'm gonna make it up, boys. Air pocket? Nope. Air pocket. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is like, y'all, I want y'all to learn something that it's taken me forever to learn, which is this is a kind of cool underground cavern here. The thing I want y'all to learn is that. Give me a second, we stop dying here. The thing I want you guys to learn is that, you know, no one's perfect. The world's not perfect, and you can't ever control the world. Like you may think you may be able to, you may think that doing X, Y, and Z is going to give you a certain result, you know, and you may expect that. And that's okay to have expectations, but at the same time, I want you guys to remember that expectations do not mean a guarantee. Like there's things in life that are guaranteed. Like you go, you know, work a job, you guaranteed payment because of laws, you know. But things like relationships, friendships, you know, aren't things that are one of the things that are guaranteed in life. Like no one's guaranteed a happy life, no one's guaranteed happy friends or a healthy relationship. Those are, excuse me. Those are all things that like we all have to strive for and, you know, work for ourselves and try to provide for ourselves and make decisions in life and create a world that has those things in it all for ourselves. Like that's something we have to do for ourselves. It's not something that will ever come naturally and will ever like just magically work out without any effort. Like true relationships, true things that work out in the end take effort. And you know, when someone doesn't feel like putting that effort in anymore, or they're just too tired to, that's okay. And that's one thing I think we need to normalize in 2025 is people deciding that, you know, something doesn't no longer benefit them. Even if it's a hard thing to do, I think there's probably a lot of people in this world that are just living unhappy lives because they're in a relationship or in a place in life where they don't actually want to be. And they feel like, you know, they have to be in that position because, you know, they're married, they feel obligated, they have kids, or they feel some way or another, and that's making them stay unhappy and choose unhappiness over convenience or whatever else is, you know, benefiting them in life at that point. But especially recently, I've really been doing a lot of self-thought and contemplation and questioning and there's been a lot of self-doubt I've had recently, and you know, a lot of it has made me really step back and take a look at the bigger picture of life and like, what am I doing with my life? Where am I going? What's going on in my life? Like with the relationships and friendships I'm in, how are they benefiting me? Are they benefiting me? Are they more of a hindrance to my life than they are an addition to them? And it's something I've really had to sit back and really start contemplating because of changes that are happening in my life currently. Can't really speak about all of them, but that's okay. I can just refer to them as changes, and you know, like I was saying before, like changes is something that I've always struggled with, like my entire life, like as a child even. I moved around several times, a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but a good amount. Probably more than most. Probably not more than most. I would say like okay, my childhood was not stable. That's what all I'm trying to say. Is my childhood was not stable, and the trauma from that, I think, has caused a thing in my brain that makes me trauma bond with people really easy. Like I can get and bond with people and find a way to bond with them and be you know like I just relate to them because I have so many things that have happened to me in a wrong way that I can. There's if someone mentions just like even just one thing that was negatory, I'm like, oh, I can relate to that in some way. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but that's who I am. And what I've realized recently is like, I don't want to be that person for forever. I don't want to be the traumatized individual that is always talking about X, Y, and Z and always focus on negative things that have happened to him in the past. I want to be someone that, focuses on what could happen in the future that's better and what things I can do in the future to make changes that are positive in my life and are long-lasting positive changes. And that's all I really can and want to do is just make changes and try to do my best going forward and put my best foot forward in life and make decisions that will actually benefit me and not just temporarily benefit me or just temporarily benefit someone else. I want changes to happen that are gonna be positive, impacting to the world, not just for me. I wanna, and that's the other thing I've really realized. So I was talking to my brother again today, and I don't know what the fuck is up with this dude, but he is one of the smartest kids I've ever met, and he is also one of the dumbest. And I love the dude to death because I grew up with him and lived in the same house with him for so many years. And since I left home and he moved out too a couple years later, I still haven't, seen him IRL. It's kind of crazy to me that I have never been home to see my brother in person in like 7+ years. And I realized today that that's a really sad thing because he was talking to me. He's like, "Hey man, I really want to help you out with the situation you're in, but I can't." He just can't. He doesn't have the ability to right now. He's like, "Oh, I'd love to drive and go pick you up and see what I can do to help you out." And it really melted my heart to hear that. And I didn't know that this dude who, I talk to him probably once a week, once a month at the least. I didn't know he actually cared about me enough to see me. Like my brother and I and my family we've always had rough patches, especially with the whole religion thing and everything. But we still love each other, and that's what is that up there? Is that iron? No, I don't think it is. That's what family is, bro. Family is those types of people that will never give up on you, no matter how shitty you are or how struggling you are. Like family, he's one of those actual family members. I don't really have too many that are blood family members that actually do care about me and love me to the extent that I feel he does. And it really melted my heart today for him to talk to me and just be like, "Hey man, I want you to pick yourself up by your own boots." Like, he knows I can do it. He's seen me do it before. I mean, I moved cross country multiple times before. I was the first one in my family to do anything crazy like that and go out of my way and just, I'm gonna get some of this stuff. Just to, leave the Midwest where my whole family was originated and take a chance on an opportunity that I had and move to California for a couple years and try something out. And, that's where I'm starting to realize is like, I need to become that person I once was again. And I've realized how much of that person I miss. The adventurous, anxious, anxiety-ridden person that loved life and loved trying new things and loved, just not trying to escape from a horrible life all the time, but loved trying to make his horrible life better all the time. And I think that's what with this channel, I'm really trying to do. I'm trying to make my life better. I'm trying to make other people's lives better, even if it's just one. If I can make one person's life better, whether it be on the daily, the monthly, or just like a one-time event, if I can make someone feel loved, if I can make someone feel a little bit of hope, or give them a little bit of motivation not to give up in life, and that things will get better and things will, can and will. My brother was telling me today, he was like, there's one thing that he has always believed his entire life, and he's very religious, so I'm not really religious in that way, but the way he put it was, you know, God can't make changes happen in his life for the better if he's not alive. And him and I both have struggled with suicidal ideation and suicidal thoughts before. And suicide has been a massive impact, always had a massive impact on my family. My uncle killed himself when he was about my age, just around the age of 30 when he got back from National Guard. I've had several great grandpas and great relatives, like great uncles, commit the neck rope, and it's something that clearly runs in the family. It's mental health and self-worth issues, and probably way more than just that, but that's definitely the start of it for me. And I can see where I am, unfortunate as is to say, as much as I don't want to say I'm like my family, I am in that way. I have taken those traits and carried them with me into my adult life. And that's unfortunate, but it's just the reality I live in. And this channel and this life that I have is me trying to combat that, and not just combat it, but learn to live again with whatever mental health issues that I'm facing all the time. And finding people that actually care and love me has been something I've always struggled with in life. I feel like I've always had to go the extra mile to make people love me. I honestly have felt for the past good couple years, maybe 3 or 4 years, even with my past relationship before the one I most recently was in. I feel like I had to do things that I didn't want to do. I feel like I had to be a person I didn't want to be, just to be accepted by someone who I thought, would make me happy if they accepted me. But what I realized is, because I wasn't willing to just be myself and accept me for me, and I was willing to put up with things and people that wanted me to be a different person than I was not being genuine and honest and truthful to myself. And that's sad, because that's not the life I want to live. I don't want to be lying on my deathbed and be looking at the ceiling of the whatever hospital I'm probably going to be laying in a bed alone with no family surrounding me because they're all dead or don't give a fuck about me, and that's okay. But the one thing I don't want is to have that regret of, man, I wish I had not done X, Y, and Z, or man, I wish I hadn't wasted so much time on X, Y, and Z, or wasted so much time trying to be this when I knew I wasn't that. And that's something I really... Oh, I just killed myself. I didn't even mean to do that. Oops. Okay, I guess I'll drop all this crap off anyways. But that's something that I really want to do in my life, and I wish I had started sooner, but it's not something I can control really. All I can control is my current, and my current me wants to make changes so that I don't experience the same type of pain that my past me has experienced over and over in relationships, friendships, and other parts of life. So, I guess this is me rambling and talking for a good, while today to just try to decide what... I'm really trying to decide what my brain wants, and because my brain doesn't know what it wants right now, but I know it wants to be loved, and I know it deserves to be loved. Whether the people in my life want to give me that or not is their decision, and that's not something I can control, and that's okay, because like, the sky's still blue, bro. Like, there's this one song by Connor Price that says sky that's literally called Still Blue, and it's been like a motto of mine since that song came out. That song, unfortunately but ironically, came out right around the same time I got out of a 5-year relationship, and the lyrics to that song really hit home, especially when he is saying, here, let me pull up the lyrics right now. I'll pull up the lyrics right now to read it. He says, looking at the lyrics. Damn, is that all the lyrics? No, there's more lyrics to this. I put the pieces together. The weather has never been better. The clouds are gone. One door opens, another door closes. Now you're gone too soon. But the sky's still blue. Yeah, the sky's still blue. Yeah, if time is what I need, I've had enough. I've been too long for me. It's been too long for me without your love. But yeah, the sky's still blue. Yeah, the sky's still blue. And those lyrics, man, every time I hear that song, it makes me, like, my voice is breaking up because I'm trying to hold back tears because, it hits home to me every time, man. Because sometimes I feel like we all get caught up in life, like, hella caught up. Like, we get so caught up in life that, like, we forget that there's more to life than just, like, survival. There's more to life than just doing things that you don't want to do. There's more to life than love. Like, all those things are all part of life, but they don't fully make up life. And I think especially, us younger folk, probably some of you older folk too, there's probably a lot of you guys, I don't know, maybe no one else relates, but I'm sure there's at least one person out there that relates that, like, sometimes it may put way too much pressure on ourselves, relationship-wise, or society putting too much pressure. Maybe it's society putting too much pressure on us, telling us that relationships should or have to be a certain way to be healthy and successful, or to work out, or, to be seen as successful by others and by, friends in your life. You have to hold a job and do X, Y, and Z and make X amount of money at least and be able to afford a nice apartment or something like that, right? All status symbols, physical ones that aren't and don't have any relation to spiritual or mental, like, actions or whatchamacall. like bro, I feel like, at least for me, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking to myself. I'll talk to myself a little bit. I can't talk for y'all, but I put way too much pressure on myself to, be a good person and do what's right for another person and look out for myself less. I don't put myself first, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say, man. Is like, no matter what, at the end of the day, you're the one that's having to fall asleep at night by yourself. No one else is, like, yeah, someone could be laying next to you or cuddling you. Someone, your significant other, could be there, helping you, massage you, put you to sleep. But in the end, it's you, in your own brain, falling asleep. It's you going to work the next day. It's you doing X, Y, and Z. And if you aren't happy doing X, Y, and Z, then you need to figure out what does make you happy to do X, Y, and Z, whatever that X, Y, and Z means to you. And if you're not happy, then, make changes. And, I guess that's what my previous partner has done. She has decided that she is no longer happy in the relationship that we were in, and that's okay. It's hard to say, but, sometimes you gotta let people go so that they can go be where they're supposed to be in life, and so that you can be where you're supposed to be in life. Because, if I didn't take chances with others and allow the fluidity of people to come in and out of my life, I would never be where I am today. I wouldn't be where I am. I would be, back where I was 10, 20 years ago. If you never allow that change to happen and you never take the chance with change, then you never allow the chance of something better to happen. So if you're never, that's what I'm trying to say, is like, life is about taking chances. And, but, sometimes those chances are big ones, sometimes they're small ones, sometimes they're very impactful, sometimes they're not impactful at all, the outcome. Sometimes they change your world, sometimes they, in the end up not mattering at all. You could do X, Y, and Z for 20 years and still get the same result at the end, divorced and lonely. Or you could not. It's all something that we all as humans have to determine what is worth for us and what is worth our taking the chance on and the time on, and moving forward with that decision. Because like we all can, I've said for months, and I know above all people that you can promise everything you want. You can say you're a certain person, but the reality is you are what your actions make you to be, not who your brain thinks you to be. I think it was Dr. K was talking about it on YouTube the other day, and I was watching a video where he was like, your consciousness of who you think you are and your identity is not who you are. Who you are is not who you want to be. Who you are is who you are. So, like, for example, me right now, and I'm an unemployed, concussed, broken-nosed, almost 30-year-old who is playing Minecraft and talking to random people on the internet, you know, just trying to have a better night. And, that's just who I am right now in the moment. I can't change that. I can't magically get a job and start working tonight. I can apply for jobs, which I've done, and I'm going to keep doing until I get a job. And I'm going to keep calling people back and keep bothering people until I get a job. But, for reality is, to deny right now who I am is who I am. And that's, I either can accept it and embrace it and decide if I like it or not and decide to make changes about it or not, or I can decide to ignore it and pretend that nothing's wrong and pretend that, I am happy where I am and pretend that, it'll get better magically overnight. And, I will be the first to admit that I've done that for months, if not years of my life. I've spent years just being like, oh yeah, it's going to get better. As long as I just, put my head down and keep grinding or keep doing X, Y, and Z, it'll get better. But the reality is nothing gets better without effort. Whether it be relationships, jobs, financial circumstances, you have to be willing to take massive chances to get massive results. So the bigger the chance, the bigger the result. The bigger the opportunity to potentially get the outcome that you want. Like if you're not willing to, it's like the idea of like even gambling. Like I'm not endorsing gambling. It really isn't great. I went gambling last weekend and made $0 back, and it wasn't very smart of me to do, but I did it. But like, if you don't want that change to happen, it ain't gonna happen. And by that I mean like specific types of changes. There's certain changes that are unavoidable, like things that are out of your control. But stuff that is in your control, like 100% in your control, only you have you to rely on yourself to make those changes and make those positive things happen in your life. Like, no one else is going to go out and get a job for you. No one else is going to go out and make you $1 million and just hand it to you. You've got to do all these things for yourself. No one else is going to create a community of loving friends and families that you are surrounding yourself with. It's not just going to magically happen. Yes, you might be born into a good family or get into a lucky situation and have friends surrounded by you, but it still took some effort from your part, So like, I don't know, I guess I'm starting to learn more so than ever this year that, change is going to happen no matter if I want it or not. And change that I don't expect is going to happen, whether I want it or not. And I need to stop trying to live my life in a depressed state, trying to control everything. And when things don't turn out the way I want them to, letting my depression and everything feed into that, and just letting that be the excuse why I don't try anymore. And that's not okay, because I want to try, man. I want to try at life. I want to not give up and just be depressed and not be broke all the time. But that takes effort, and that's kind of fucking difficult sometimes. That's all right. So, but yeah, I just I think that's enough rambling for now. I'll let you guys go get on with your day or eat night or whatever, and we'll go from there. I hope y'all have a good day. Have a good night. Go love someone. Go love yourself. If you don't have anyone else to love on, go tell someone you love them today. But also don't forget that, change is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Even though it feels bad sometimes, and it doesn't make sense, and things aren't working out how you expected them to, or exactly how you planned them to in your brain. That's not a bad thing. That just means that the world's still spinning, and that the world's still moving, and that you're still alive, and you're still living. And because you're not living unless like you're actually embracing change and embracing new things happening in your life. Like I feel like if you're an old person just sitting in your nursing home just watching TV and not really doing anything with your life on the daily, that is the ultimate sadness right there. That is the ultimate, like, your life is kind of over. You aren't wanting to make any changes to better your life. You're complacent with living in a home that is taking care of you and everything, and maybe you're not complacent, maybe that's where you have to be. But it's also very sad and scary to me because it's like, think about it, bro, like they're gonna, like, those people just don't do anything for the rest of their lives, and that's not okay, man. Because I want to do things with the rest of my life. I want to travel. I have a goal. I want to travel around the world, maybe take you guys along with it. I want to see if I could do something that maybe not many people have done, or maybe no one's done before. I want to go do something that would blow people's minds, or maybe not even other people's, just my mind, something that would entertain me. Whether it's like go live in another country for a year and just grind out shitty jobs and see what happens, or if it's moving to a different state again, or moving to a different country and just trying something new is never a bad thing, and that's something I always strive for. And I get very depressed and sad when things are just consistently not great. And that's okay though, because as we were talking about before, remember, changes do happen, and it's inevitable that changes happen. It might take longer than you expect, might take a lot less time than you expect, but that's okay, because you can't really control that shit. That shit's out of your control. But the stuff that is in your control, fucking go for it, and take life by the balls and do what you can with it. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to do what I want, have fun with this channel, see where it takes me. Maybe someday we'll move away from Minecraft content as a majority of our videos, and we'll do something else. But for now, we're doing Minecraft because I enjoy it still, and I'm going to keep doing it. And until that change needs to happen, or I feel it does, we're gonna be here every day, grinding out some blocks, talking about some thoughts, maybe crying a little, maybe laughing a little, anything really, just to keep the depression away and keep our minds in a good, healthy spirit where they should be. And if any of y'all ever just need someone to talk to, please reach out. Like, I know I've had moments in life where things and videos and songs have really impacted me and changed my life for the better, and things have popped in my life at the most random times. I do think it's funny that one of my favorite artists, he always tends to drop music right around the same time I have a massive life change, and then I for some reason decide to hyper focus on that song or his music again, and it just brings me back into love for life and love for change and love for what could happen in the future. Not because there's a lot of stress involved around knowing what will happen, but there's a lot more stress that people put on what they don't know will happen. And I do that so much. It's unhealthy, but I know it's unhealthy, and that's something I want to change, man. So like, I'm trying, and that's all I can do. That's all we really, any of us can do, is just try our best. Like if we really try our hardest, I think everyone is more capable of doing things than they think they are capable of doing. I heard that quote today, and that really struck me. It's like, you know what? I am more capable. Anything I think I can do, I can actually set my mind to. If I set my mind to getting this channel to like 1 million followers by a certain date, I know I could do it. I know I could really push and try. I know, like, if I decided I wanted to own a Bugatti and fucking ride around in that for the rest of my life, I could make that a goal, and I could do that. And I think a lot of goals are daunting, and that's the thing. The more scary the goal, and more scary the opportunity, of change and the opportunity of failure, I think the more reward for greatness. And you know, I just want y'all to remember that, like, you know what? Even if someone's telling you to your face that, like, you know, you're not worth their time, you're not worth X, Y, and Z, you know, they're too scared to put up with you, they're too scared to take another chance on you. That's okay. Because guess what? In the end, you still got yourself, bro. You still have yourself, and you can still take chances on yourself, even if no one else wants to. When no one else wants to in the world take a chance on you, you should take a chance on yourself. Because who the fuck else is going to in life, bro? Who else do you have to rely on? No one. When it comes down to it, you are your own person, that you are the only person that you can 100% rely on 100% of the time. Because other people are other people. They have their own things and goals in life. They have their own dreams. They have their own visions. They have their own things they want to do. And, you know, you can't rely 100% on other people to believe in you all the time. Because, you know, not everyone is believed in. You know, there's plenty of people out there that probably didn't get believed in. And, you know, they only believed in themselves. And they had to take that pain of not being believed in and push it down and choke on it and decide that it didn't matter to them that no one else believed in, because, you know, they saw the vision and they saw that they believed in themselves, and that is more powerful. That idea that, you know, you don't really care if others believe in you, you don't really care the outcome, you just are gonna do it and see what the world sends your way. That idea right there is so powerful that, I don't know, man, like, it can, like, actually change lives. It can move mountains. It can do things that no one else ever expected. Way more than like a 9 to 5 or any other stability in life can do. The most best things come in life come from the most crazy and the most unexpected. And that's okay, because sometimes it's rough, and sometimes life, you have to, like, take life's lemons, as people like saying, and fucking turn them into lemonade. And when those lemons are sour, like hella sour, you might have to add a little extra sugar to make it palatable. You might have to do X, Y, and Z to, you know, make it survivable, and that's okay. But as long as you don't fucking give up, and, you know, you remember that the sky is still blue, no matter what. You're gonna wake up tomorrow, the sky's gonna be there, the sky's gonna be blue. Unless a nuclear war explodes, and, like, you know, all of us die, and then none of this shit matters, you know. Up until that point, you know, like the sky is still blue, the world's gonna keep spinning, and you can decide every day to wake up and not give up. And I really hope I really hope all of y'all decide that, you know, life is worth living. Because I want you guys to know that, you know, whether you're struggling with mental health or whether you're struggling with non-mental health things, you're struggling physically, you know, you have physical issues or you have mental issues, like, I want y'all to know that, like, life is worth living, even when it doesn't feel like it's worth living. And sometimes when it doesn't feel like it's worth living, that's the most times that you realize it's worth living. You know what I mean? So, anyways, guys, I hope y'all have a good day. I'm gonna be done rambling for now, and I'll catch y'all on the flip-flop. Have a good rest of your day. Love y'all, noodles. Thank you so much for showing up and watching this video. It does mean the world to me. Alright, y'all have a good day. Love y'all. Goodbye.